Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever this video finds you, I hope you're having a rad time. I'm the Figure Dude, and on today's Work in Progress Wednesday, we have Ring of Honor CM Punk. Without further ado, let's talk about some figures. Dude. Welcome back. Like I said, today I am making a Ring of Honor era version of CM Punk, and I'm going to make an Ultimate Edition. I have wanted to do this for a long time. I bought this head scan from Headeration a very long time ago. It might have even been before CM Punk was in AEW. I don't remember exactly, but I didn't ever think we were going to get a Ring of Honor look of CM Punk. And then we started getting figures of CM Punk. There was rumbles that we were going to get an ROH line, which like well before we knew we were. And then we did get renders of Ring of Honor CM Punk. So I like kind of had this piece together. I set it to the side because I didn't know what attire we were going to get of Punk. And as I am recording this, I still don't know if it's a definitive no on the Punk. We saw him in his yellow gear in, I think he was supposed to be in one of the Unmatched waves. Then he was removed from that, kind of. Then allegedly he left the company again. And now I don't know. I don't know what we're going to get from Punk. So I'm going ahead. I am making the red version. So what we have here is pretty simple. I have got a Jeff Hardy Ultimate Torso. He's got just some plain arms. Everything's going to be acetoned off so we can put on the tape on the tattoos. And I have these decals available to me through 3XR Studios library, like the Trunks designs, but the tattoos I was not sure about. So I went on Curb Stomp's website. He had the tattoos from this era of Punk. So we've just got, like, he has way less. He's got a lot of his iconic tattoos, but he doesn't have like the full sleeves. So this is all that we've got as far as the design on there. But I'm gonna basically put a primer on all of this. So gonna pop the boots off, gonna paint this down here in skin tone color. The knee pads are gonna stay black. He was wearing boots still, that just plain boots then. Obviously got to get all this off, and I don't know, I might do a little more to the head, like give him darker roots, but we'll see how I'm feeling as I go. But then gonna prime this all white, paint it red, and then get the decals on there. So a lot of prep work here to get it looking the way I need to, but I'm excited to get this done. Like I said, I want to do this for a long time, so I'm ready to hop into it. All right, so just prepping this to get started. I take the torso apart as little as possible. On the upper torso, I just barely will crack the bottom portion of it so that I can get the shoulder to pop out. It's just easier to get all the design off, get it off with all the acetone. So I will acetone the shoulder, the butterfly joint, then I'll get the shoulder, and then we'll just piece it back together. But when I do this, when I use the acetone, if I have nail polish, I will use that to wipe off any residue. If I don't, I will put it on, use water right away, wipe it off, and that generally keeps it pretty clean. I have talked about that before, but someone had asked me about it. I wanted to throw that in there real quick. Here you can see these are adding the decals like I do normally. It's obviously same CM Punk decals, but there's less of them, so don't have to worry as much about getting full coverage. I still am going to use the hair dryer, but they're smaller, so it's a little bit easy to piece those. For the legs here, I've sprayed these with the white primer, and then I also use red spray paint to get a much smoother looking effect. So I'm going to start trying to do that a little bit more. I did paint these legs, had to give the calves that skin tone color. But if you do spray paint, make sure you give it extra time to dry. It'll dry, but then it's pretty easy to leave fingerprints, so you want to be careful with that. But then once it's dry, I think it looks fantastic.
With Punk, I do have to do the bottom of the shorts. So I'm painting it black, and then once I go all the way around, I'm going to go back over it with a silver and give it, or a gray, and give it that outline. But really, when you have like less design, I think it's more important to make sure it's clean, or else it just doesn't pop the same. So I'm taking my time here, making sure it's all lined up well, nice and even all the way across. I just use a sculpting tool for this. It's got a really sharp end, so it's easy for me to kind of control that. If I do mess up, I just go back, and if I can just like scrape off the piece or just even it out by adding a little bit of paint, I'll just do that. But for the most part, painting lines like this isn't a huge deal. So really, like, it seemed pretty simple, but it was a long process. You didn't see off camera just because of all the drying and whatnot. Excuse me.
Okay, time to wrap things up with my ROH Punk and another one. It came out better than I expected. Honestly, it kind of was plain, and sometimes when you have something that doesn't have like a lot of like, obviously he has tattoos and stuff, but most of his torso is pretty plain. The trunks obviously have their design on the side, so we got all the decals in there painted. I gave him the gray all the way around, and then obviously it says Punk on the side there. But then when you got all this red, like the boots are plain, and I feel like you can kind of lose some of the character when you don't have a lot of stuff to work with. But I'm really happy with this. For the head scan, I decided to do a black wash, or like a dark brown wash in there to give it a little bit of a dirtier look instead of just like the flat color, which I think came out really well. I was really happy with how that turned out in there. Obviously, we've got his ROH, or his old tattoos before he had his full sleeves. So happy with that. Boots and everything. Like, I think that skin tone looks good. Just top to bottom, I'm really happy with that. Like I said, it came out a little better than I expected. Just a couple comparisons in here. So we have my custom pipe bomb Punk, and I don't know. So this one doesn't have the tattoos colored in on the arms. They're just some basic arms because I put the Stone Cold t-shirt on him, so I just used the basic arms. But I'm probably going to convert that into an ultimate in a little bit here, not in a little bit like in this episode, like in a few weeks on Work in Progress Wednesday. But then I've got my final appearance ultimate Punk. It was a ton of fun. There's that head from House 14. I got all the decals on there. That one was a blast, and kind of why I wanted to end up doing this ROH Punk. But I plan on making plenty of more CM Punk figures as we go. I like using these legs for him. It gives him like that flexibility and everything that he needs. Parts are always pretty the same, so it was fun to do the ROH one. But that is going to wrap everything up for today. If you guys have some other stuff you want to see, let me know. I have a lot of stuff planned, but no real plan on when to do it. So we'll just get around to it. So if you guys have some stuff you want to see, let me know. Outside of that, please continue, like, share, subscribe, comment, all of that. I really appreciate it. And remember, you can't buy happiness, but you can buy more action figures. Figure Dude out.